Today I'm going to be showcasing a nice and simple magic deck to use. It's a monocolour green. It's called Green Stompy. It's just about creatures going forward very quickly and defeating the opponent just through sheer aggression. So there's about 20 creatures in the show here. A low mana base for a typical magic deck, just because it's running a lot of low mana creatures. The biggest spell in here is a 5 mana, and that's a 1-of. Most things are 1 and 2 mana drops, and there's a couple free drops as well. And then everything else is just things that pump your creatures, and then a couple of removal spells in the form of Beast Within, which is the best removal we get in green, and Prey Upon. Prey Upon your creature fights one of their creatures. Green creatures should always be bigger, and Beast Within destroys a target permanent, and then turns into a 3/3 beast. You can cast that on your own stuff if you're in desperate need of a creature. In the sideboard, there's just some things to take on artifacts, some things to take on mono blue. So there's some particularly horrible cards like Choke, which means that blue islands don't untap. And then some more defensive stuff like Fog, which means all combat damage prevented. And Skylasher. Skylasher is really good against blue. It can't be countered, and there's protection on blue. It's also got reach. So let's try and get a game. This deck has won a few times at tournaments, but one of the big bonuses of this deck is that it's really cheap. Because it's all mono green, there's no rare lands in there. You could easily build this deck for £80 if that, and it is competitive. It's one of those ones that if your opponent's deck stutters at all, your deck's going to win. There are some actually new cards just come out recently that work for this deck very well, but I've not updated this deck. So let's get going. We've got an opponent. Okay, so I've got a nice opening hand of 7 cards, a few lands, no 1 mana drops. Definitely going to keep this though. I've got lots I can do. So I'm up against a blue deck of some sort. So, oh no, I'm not. I'm up against Affinity. So this is going to be a real speed game. Affinity can just pump out creatures very quickly. As you can see, on turn 1 he has played 3 creatures. And this Mox Opal here means that if he's got 3 or more artifacts in play, which he does, artifacts are colourless permanents for beginners, for you beginners out there, and he can tap that for 1 mana of any choice if he has 3 artifacts or more in play, which he does. So he's got a 2nd mana down already. So I'll move on to my turn. Another land for my draw, not really what I need. I can't play anything turn 1, which is not good against Affinity, but we'll move on. Just have to take the damage early on. If I'm lucky, I'm only going to be taking 4 damage this turn. So he's attacking. Signal Pest's ability called Battle Cry, whenever it attacks, other creatures, not including itself, get +1 to their attack stat. So the 2/1/1 Mem Knights become 2/1s. Yeah, only taken 4 damage. He's not done anything else, so it looks like he's cast most of his good spells so far. Right, so I'm going to be aggressive as well, and I'm going to play Strangleroot Geist. He's got haste, which means he can attack straight away. He's got Undying, which is a fantastic mechanic. The first time he dies, it goes into a graveyard, but then he returns a +1/+1 counter on him, and goes back onto the battlefield. So when he does die, he does return even bigger. The second time he dies, if he's got a +1/+1 counter on him, he stays dead. Master of Ethereum, oh dear, he's going to have to die next turn. So he gets, for every artifact on the battlefield, he gets bigger by 1. So he starts as a 1/1 because he just counts himself. So he's currently 6/6, and he also makes other creatures 1 bigger as well, +1/+1. So I'm going to be taking 5, 6, 7 damage this turn, which isn't great. Decisions. As you can see, Affinity is very, very quick. I've not had the greatest start against it, not having any turn 1 spells. So I think I am just going to blow up the Master and then keep my Strangleroot Geist back. I'm going to ambush him, I'm going to wait and get him at instant speed. Anything else I can do this turn? No. I'm going to block one of his Mem Knights to slow down his assault. And now I'm going to use Beast Within to kill his Master of Ethereum. And suddenly his attack is far less impressive. He gets a 3/3 beast out of it though, but his Mem Knights get weaker and his Signal Pest doesn't do any damage. So I'm only taking 2 damage this turn. Strangleroot Geist has died. As I said earlier, he's gotten back bigger. Alright. The land. So I'm going to play Scavenging Ooze. He's a 2/2, but I can use 1 green mana to basically eat a creature card in the graveyard and he gets bigger. He can eat non-creature cards but he doesn't get bigger. So I believe if he eats a creature card, he also gains 1 life. So I'm going to sit back and defend some more. One of Affinity's problems is very, very fast, but if you can start taking cards away from it, it does struggle to get back into the game. It does have a couple of draw spells. I imagine this deck is going to be using them. Right, so he's going to blow up my creature, but in response I'm going to eat his creatures and just gain some life. So I may have lost my creature, but I managed to gain 2 life out of it, which is important at this stage. So he's got a Blink Moth coming at me this turn. An Arcbound Ravager. Now the game gets more interesting. Arcbound means that he can sacrifice artifacts to put counters on himself, making himself bigger and bigger and bigger. And also when he dies, he can move his counters across to another creature. He's a really good card. He's a mythic rare as well. And he just basically means that if he's got multiple creatures down, you don't know where his counters are going to end up. Like he could attack himself, he could stack himself to give counters to another creature. So if you block one creature, that's the most powerful one, he can basically move the damage across to another creature and still wins. It's a very versatile card. Using an all-out attack. 4. I'm just going to have to take it for now. I need my Strangleroot, guys, just in case I don't get any other creatures next turn. 4. So what he's doing now is he's sacrificing creatures to make Ravager bigger, and I think he's worked out that he can make his flying creature, which I couldn't block anyway, powerful enough to kill me. Not. Oh yeah, no, definitely. Game over. Right, I'm gonna get rid of Garruk the Planeswalker. He's too slow. There's no point putting choke in because his deck should only have one island. Fog could be handy against Affinity actually. Misplay. I just realised that I've not used this deck in about a year or so that I'm pretty sure I could have stopped my creature from dying game 1. I think I had Autumn's Veil, not Autumn's Veil in my hand, I had Vines of Vastwood, which makes your creature bigger, but another thing it also does is it makes them hexproof, meaning they can't be targeted by spells, which I could have done to defend him, which probably would have been a shrewder move. Right, so definitely gonna naturalize. Why on earth not? That destroys artifacts. Actually, I don't really need Beast Within if I've got naturalize. I'll ditch another Beast Within for a Skylasher just to slow down his blue creatures. That's flying creatures, sorry. And that will do for now. I lost, so I will be going first. Hope they get a good hand. Yeah, that's a good hand. Keep. There goes my forest. Experiment 1. He's only a 1/1, but every time a creature bigger than him comes onto the battlefield, he gets a +1/+1 counter. And also, if he dies, I can remove 2 of those counters to keep him alive, giving him the ability to regenerate. Alright, so second land, play a Dryad Militant. Should make my experiment bigger. Yep, here we go. Do the 2/2 now. And I'm going to attack with him. I'm not going to Giant Growth yet. I'm going to keep it as a defensive measure. Or a game-winning measure later on. Catch him by surprise. Memnite, not 0 mana for a 1/1 artifact creature. Steel Overseer. Now this guy is really good. Next turn you can tap him down to put a +1/+1 counter on every artifact creature. So he's a real threat. I'm going to play Scavenging Ooze. And I am going to attack. I want him to block, but I don't think he's going to. He's taking the damage. I left 1 mana open to hopefully make my make my creature bigger if he attacks. Here's Ravager again, won in the game last time. There he goes, tapping his guy, make his creatures bigger. So he's attacking with Signal Pest. I can only block him with things with reach or other flyers, so he's just going to attack. Aha, neutralize. And then all out attack. 6 damage. Second main, I'm going to cast another Dry Militant. And then my end step, I'm going to naturalize Steel Overseer, because he can just make everything bigger, bigger and bigger. But Ravager is going to eat him in response. His Steel is countered. So now, because I've got Giant Growth in hand, if he does attack with any of his... oh dear. This is going to make the game more interesting. He's basically going to make Signal Pest massive. Cranial Plating, it's 2 to summon, 1 to equip. It can also be equipped at instant speed, so he can fly this artifact across to other creatures if he needs to. So moving around is threat for 2 double black, which you can't do at the moment. You can only generate 1 black mana. But the equipped creature gets +1 to its attack for every artifact. So currently the artifact count is 5, so it makes the creature 5 bigger. It doesn't look like he's attacking. He's decided to go defensive. And he's thinking about it. Attacking with 1 guy. And I'm gonna let him. Eating his Steel Overseer to make my scavengers big. And gain a life. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can almost kill him this turn, but not quite. because he's not blocked Scavenging Ooze, I should be able to kill him for lethal. Unless he's about to do something now. He did have something in hand. So he's going to exile one of my creatures. Nothing I can do about that. Go down to 3 life. Master of Ethereum's back. He's a guy that makes other artifacts bigger, and he's the same power and toughness as the amount of artifacts he has. So he's a 5/5 at the moment. Right, Scavenging Ooze is back. Sadly, I am now on the defensive. I don't have the creatures to beat him yet. And so I'm definitely not attacking. Another Master of Ethereum. That's not good for me. He's not attacking, good. I'm going to use my spare mana to eat some of my creatures and get bigger. Alright. Thanks to Vines of Vastwood, when he does attack, I can destroy one of his creatures. I'm sat here waiting for him to do something. I need Trample really to finish this game. Making my Skylasher bigger so I can eat his Nexus and not take any damage. That gets rid of one of his lands. Not what I wanted. He can hit me for 11 damage in the air next turn. He can pretty much swamp me now. Definitely not attacking. He just has an all-out attack this turn. I don't think there's anything going for... Oh no, cancel that. Yeah, I think there's not much I can do about that. Twenty, 24, no. Uh, even if I block his biggest guy, I might survive actually. I'll block. It doesn't matter now, because the Artbound Ravager can just move the damage around. There we go. Well, I survived just, but I can't really do anything next turn. One big creature is not enough to save me. I'll play it out till the end. Well, thank you for watching. So this has been a pretty straightforward matchup. Two really aggressive decks going at each other. As you can see, Affinity is one of the best decks in Magic. There's a top 6 of decks, and Affinity is like deemed as probably the 5th best deck there. It wins a couple of major tournaments a year. It's always in the running. It's very hard to play against. Just because it's very versatile. The damage can come in lots of different ways from lots of different creatures. And then you saw my deck, nice and straightforward, green deck with buff spells, a couple of removal spells, and just trying to be really aggressive back. I did get him down to 3 life before he was able to take the advantage away from me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be doing some more later on with different decks. Just waiting for him to kill me. He doesn't seem to want to kill me, so I'm just going to concede. Thanks for watching.